For more now on what rights are afforded to individuals during an encounter with federal agents, let's bring in the director of the Immigrants' Rights Clinic at Columbia Law School, Elora Mukherjee. Thank you so much for coming on. I think we start with the basics here, especially since a lot of these videos are showing otherwise. Can you go over the basic rights of people approached by ICE, citizens or non-citizens, people, and especially if they're in a car or in their home?
Absolutely. So the videos that have been documenting what has been happening across the country are incredibly disturbing. And many of those videos show that federal law enforcement officers, including ICE officers, are clearly violating people's rights. First, all people on American soil, regardless of their immigration or citizenship status, have a right under the First Amendment to engage in peaceful protest. Second, all people on U.S. soil, regardless of their citizenship status, have the right to due process. That right to due process may look different based on whether a person is a U.S. citizen or whether they have been in the country for a shorter period of time without documentation. But under no circumstances should the Trump administration be summarily detaining, deporting people because they have engaged in peaceful protests and speech that is disfavored by the federal government, by the Trump administration. And third, all people do have a right to remain silent when they are approached by federal law enforcement officers and state law enforcement officers. You have a right against self-incrimination. So you don't need to say what country you're from, where you were born. It's critically important, though, in these times. Okay.
No. I want to hear what you were about to say, but let me just add another question that follows up here. You're talking about all people on American soil have a right to protest, have a right to due process. And the Trump administration will say we're going after the worst of the worst. So I want to ask you the definition of all people. All people, citizen or non-citizen, and even those suspected of a crime, do they have a right to due process, and what does due process look like?
Yes, all people on U.S. soil have rights that are protected by the First Amendment. The First Amendment makes no distinctions based on immigration or citizenship status, and this has been confirmed in cases from the Supreme Court that go back about a century. Similarly, due process applies to everyone on U.S. soil. Again, a person can't be summarily detained, arrested, and deported because they've been engaged in peaceful protests. It is critically important right now to recognize that the executive branch, the Trump administration, is pushing the bounds of its executive power well beyond the system of checks and balances set up in the U.S. Constitution, and is unfortunately oftentimes violently infringing on the rights of peaceful protesters who have done nothing wrong under our U.S. Constitution.
Okay, we're going to have you back because there's so many different angles to this, including to the many people who are putting themselves out there to videotape these scenarios. Director of the Immigrants' Rights Clinic at Columbia Law School, Elora Mukherjee, thank you very much for coming on the show this morning.